chips and scratches, wrap your car in a full coat of primer sealer, and add a UV sunscreen, and you pay only half price. It's Mako Madness! So if you want to save 50%, just say, uh-oh, better get Mako? And save 50% on our Supreme Paint Package.
That better be a great card. Fortunately, CVS has hundreds of great Hallmark Crown Valentine cards right up to the very last minute. Now get a heart frame, only 99 cents when you buy 3 Hallmark cards.
This is News 10 Today at Sunrise.
Welcome back to News 10 Today at Sunrise. I'm Kathy Egan. Right now it's 7 o'clock and we've dropped 3 degrees. It's now 23 degrees outside.
But it's not snowing. And I'm John Blunt, topping the news this Sunday morning. Take a look outside. This is what the roads look like this morning in Montgomery County. But the good news is the snow, again, has stopped falling. And the temperatures will be on the rise later on today. They're still falling right now.
Families of victims killed in the TWA Flight 800 crash are recovering emotionally after seeing the actual wreckage.
The state and the city for bringing this building in under budget and ahead of schedule.
And an angry crowd boos Vice President Al Gore and Russia's Prime Minister after the two delayed a popular car show in Chicago.
Before we get to the news, let's go ahead and find out about today's weather. Will the snow start melting today? I think is a big question for a lot of folks.
Well, I don't know about that. Hopefully the sun will be out, Glenn Hurricane Schwartz.
Well, we'll see some sunshine today, and temperatures will get above the freezing mark by this afternoon. But then whatever melts during the afternoon may refreeze tonight. We don't have a whole lot of wind to help dry things out either. It's 23 degrees out at the airport right now with mostly cloudy skies. The wind chill is 17, which is not too bad. And it's not going to be a lot of wind today. Clouds giving way to more sunshine as the day progresses. The high 34 degrees. Clear skies tonight down to 22. And there will be some more icy spots, especially on those side roads. And I had some problems with that myself last night. Smashed right into the curb. Just to 15 miles an hour, so you got to watch it on the side roads. Back with the 5-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
And I remember the defensive driving course you were telling us about earlier this year. Thanks for that, Hurricane.
Time to check out how the roads are faring this morning after this blast of snow.
Let's go right now to Mary Cantel. She joins us from the News 10 Metro Traffic Center. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning once again. Well, most of the commuter problem is based in central and south Jersey, where the roads remain icy and slushy, and just use some caution as you travel into there. In Cherry Hill, Route 70 is still shut down near Springdale Road because of an earlier accident, and in Princeton Borough, we have a state of emergency still in effect. All cars must be removed from the roadway. The most of the problem, precipitation-wise, hit Salem and Cumberland County, where the major roads to there are the Atlantic City Expressway and the Garden State Parkway. Let's go into Philadelphia now and take a live look of the Schuylkill Expressway that's eastbound near Spring Garden. And we'll fill you in on some updates on SEPTA information in our next report. Back to you.
Thanks, Mary. Of course, our top story on the Sunday morning. People across the Delaware Valley are digging out from the first significant snowstorm of the season.
News 10's Tracy Davidson is live in downtown Wilmington with the latest on the winter weather there. Tracy, how the roads doing?
Actually, they're not bad, Kathy. You know, parts of Delaware got between 4 and 6 inches of snow, and the roads are surprisingly good, much better than they are in Montgomery County. 95 was not bad at all. It was icy in some spots, wet in others. And here in Wilmington, the roads are snow-covered, but they're kind of slushy. I mean, they're very slippery, but they are much, much better than they were last night. DelDOT crews have been out in force doing battle with Mother Nature, and at one point, plowing trucks and sanding trucks were out in Newcastle County, 48 of them just in Newcastle County alone. Still, motorists had a hard time. Snow made for slippery conditions, as you might imagine, and numerous accidents were reported. But things are much calmer here this morning. The sun is trying to break through the clouds, and some freshly brushed off cars are making their way out to the streets, but they're taking it easy, and that is good advice. And now we see people coming out to shovel the sidewalks, and there's a gentleman over here snow blowing the sidewalks around church for Sunday churchgoers. So things are getting back to normal, and there are still some DelDOT crews out and about trying to treat all the roads so they'll be good for driving. Just take it easy, you'll be just fine. Reporting live in Delaware, Tracy Davidson, News 10.
All right, thanks, Tracy. Some good advice. The winter storm brought somewhat of a rare sight to South Jersey, several inches of snow. In Vineland this morning, there's more than 4 inches on the ground. As always, some people are happy to see it, and, well, others aren't.
Oh, it's great. I love it. You really do?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you remember last winter, Paul?
I love last winter. I love the snow.
What is it you don't like about snow?
Driving in it. It really scares me.
Me too. Plows are keeping busy this morning along the Jersey shore, moving out the slush and snow. South Jersey was hit the hardest from the wintry blast. A half foot of snow fell in some areas.
And News 10's Christine Perez joins us live from Route 70 in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, where the westbound lanes have been shut down. Christine, what's going on?
Well, good morning, John. Let me tell you, still problems to report here in Cherry Hill. We are again on Route 70 near Springdale and Cherry Hill, where the westbound lane has been shut down. Take a look at this. Traffic, well, not now, but it is getting diverted here on this road. Now, PSC&G had told us earlier that the road was going to open, but now they say the problem is worse than they had imagined. Now, they're working on a split pole down the road as a result of an earlier accident. There have been 2 major accidents here in Cherry Hill this morning. Now, South Jersey was hit the hardest during the storm.
Move all that snow on there, sucker.
The snow started coming down early yesterday morning, and in South Jersey, it didn't stop until the evening hours. And before it was all over with, most of us who live here received close to 6 inches of snow. Salt trucks have been out all night trying to keep the main roads wet. The snow pretty much ended last night. Now the cleanup begins. How did the roads look?
Around here? Oh, they were bad last night when we got in, but now they're pretty much wet, that's all.
The snow has turned to slush on many of South Jersey's main roads. However, it's a different story on the secondary roads, like this one in Cherry Hill. Sawmill Road, still very slippery, even though it's been plowed. And as a result of the snow, the speed limit has been reduced to 35 miles per hour on the Atlantic City Expressway. But the speed limit on the Jersey Turnpike, on I-295 and I-95 have been lifted to 55 miles per hour. But on I-95 near the Lawrenceville area and Trenton, along those lines, still a lot of problems to report. The roads are still a bit slippery. Now again, where we're standing on Route 70 on the westbound lane, still shut down as a result of an earlier accident, a split pole down the road here. Live in Cherry Hill, Christine Perez, News 10.
Christine, I know it's kind of early, but do you see any kids out there with the sled yet?
No, I haven't yet. We're standing on the highway, but I'm sure they'll be coming out soon. It's a good thing it's Sunday.
Christine, have they said when they'll reopen that section of the road?
I'm sorry, Kathy, I didn't hear you.
Have they said when they'll reopen that section of the road?
Well, they don't know when they'll reopen this. They had thought they were going to open it up at 7 o'clock, as we said earlier this morning, but now they're still working on it, and we'll let you know.
All right.
Thank you, Christine. There is other news this Sunday morning. Family members of the crash victims of TWA Flight 800 are now dealing with a new wave of emotions this Sunday morning. They were taken to this New York hangar this weekend to actually view the wreckage of the plane. The FBI tried to assure them that everything possible is being done in the investigation, but one man who lost his wife and children is left with little comfort.
I was hoping for a clear indication that my family would have died instantly. And unfortunately, because of the location where they were sitting in the plane, that really wasn't clear at all to me.
At this point, investigators know that the center fuel tank on the plane blew apart, but they don't know what caused that explosion. Well, it was not the reception Vice President Al Gore and the Russian Prime Minister were looking for at an auto show in Chicago. We apologize for being late. Gore and Chernomyrdin were booed by ticket holders who had to wait more than 40 minutes while the dignitaries got a private tour. The Vice President Gore apologized to the crowd for the delay before cutting the ribbon to officially open the show.
Kimberly Mays Twig, who made news headlines after being switched at birth, has gotten married. Twig, seen here in court 3 years ago, is now 18 years old. Her story gained national attention during a bitter fight between her biological parents and the man who raised her, Robert Mays. Robert Mays gave the bride away yesterday, and Regina and Ernest Twig were also in Florida for her wedding.
Still ahead this Sunday morning on News 10 Today at Sunrise, Steve Levy, and on the menu report from Steve on the other white meat. Up next, a recipe for pork chops with a real zing.
Plus, we'll get a quick check on area roads. That'll be when we come right back.
The stress of PMS is a fact of life for me and for many of the women I know. My doctor says Preems and PMS relieves those stressful symptoms, including